James here from GoodGuitarist.com, and in today's lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play both of the famous riffs from Layla. I'm going to try to keep this as concise and as useful as possible. If along the way you find that you need any extra help, I have a free ebook. It's completely free for all my subscribers. It goes over all the fundamentals of lead guitar. So you can get that, get your copy in the corner over there. Otherwise, let's get started with the main riff. This riff is based around a shape called the power chord. We're going to start out placing our index finger at the 5th fret of the A string, and then our ring finger on the next string at the 7th fret. We're going to pick it with a small downstroke, and I'm just kind of aiming for the thicker string, and my pick is coming outward to make sure that I don't follow through and get all those extra strings. It also helps if you place your index down like this, so it's resting just underneath the thickest string, and then it's kind of resting on the higher strings to mute them. And that way, you can just go for it when you're strumming. You know, that's a really important technique, is to mute excess strings. It's the difference between somebody who sounds like a beginner and somebody who doesn't, you know. So definitely worth your time to start doing that now. It doesn't have to be perfect, but, you know, just be aware of it. Anyways, we have our power chord shape, and we're going to focus on our index finger, which is at the 5th fret. We're going to bring it down 2 frets, so now it's at the 3rd fret, and then we're going to go down 2 frets again to the 1st fret. And those are the chords that we're going to be using for this riff. 5, 3, 1. So just take a sec, experiment with that, you know, get used to reaching. Might have to adjust your elbow and all that. And once you're good with the positioning of the shapes, we can add some musical elements to them. We start out by strumming this first one and then sliding down to the 3rd fret. And I actually believe that this is the hardest part of the entire riff. You know, a lot of people would think that it's the hammer-ons, but it's actually getting that to sound clean. If it's a bit much, you can always just strum both of them. You could just go down, down, but on the recording, he's sliding, and then he goes to the 1st fret, and he strums that one. So, strum, slide, strum. So that's it for the power chord bit, which is actually in the middle of the riff. Now I want to take a look at the beginning where we do the hammer-ons and pull-offs. We start off on the A string, we pluck the open A string, and then we hammer the 3rd fret. You can use your index finger, your middle finger. I don't recommend your ring finger just because after doing the hammer-ons and pull-offs, you have to go up into that power chord, and that makes it require a lot more distance. You got to cover more distance. Whereas if you use your index, you're a lot closer to that D shape. So I prefer the index. So we pluck the string, hammer the 3rd fret, and then we go to the D string. We pluck it open, hammer the 3rd fret, and then we pull off. And it's good to just try doing this a whole bunch. The real secret, I suppose, with hammer-ons is to use the tip of your finger and focus on accuracy. You know, if you're bringing your finger out too far, it's going to be tough to be accurate. If it's too close, you won't get enough power. So I think like a centimeter or maybe a little more, like a 1/2 inch or whatever, is a good amount of distance, and you want to focus on getting it in the exact part, like the tip of your finger, getting it in the same spot every time so that you can get a nice, strong hammer on. Anyways, after our hammer and pull off on the D string, we go back to the 3rd fret of the A string, and then we pluck the open D string again. So just 2 notes to finish it off. All in all, we practice it in 3 little bits. Hammer on the A string at the 3rd fret, hammer and pull, and then 3 on the A string, open on the D string. Work on that, take a look at it up above. As far as the rhythm goes, we're using 16th notes here, so we're counting 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. And our lick starts off 3 E and a 4 E and a. And then this D string is beat 1 of the next measure. And that might help, that might just confuse you more, so, take that for what it's worth. I'm going to count it out nice and slow. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 and a 2. And you can just count out loud and loop it like that over and over if you want to practice it. That's the best way to do it. You can even get out your metronome. Anyways, after that lick, we go into... So let's connect those 2 bits. 1, 2, 3. And I want you to do it just like that, over and over, just counting 1, 2, 3. And just trying to connect those 2 bits. And then we can learn the ending of the lick, which isn't as hard as the rest of it. So we land at the 1st fret, and then we play the open A string, and then we play the 3rd fret of the thickest string with our middle finger. Then we go up to the 3rd fret to our C power chord, open A string, and the 3rd fret of the thickest string, but this time with our index finger because it's already there, and then our first shape that we started out on. So 1, open, 3. And we'll add our power chord thing before it. We're putting this together slowly, right? We're not just trying to play the whole thing. We'll go like this. But slowly. 1. And all that's left to do is add that hammer-on bit from the beginning. So I want you to practice it in those 3 separate parts, and then put them together 2 at a time. Do the first one and the second one, then the second one and the third one, and then we're going to do all 3 of them together right now, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3. All right, so that's the lower riff. Now we're going to take a look at the higher riff. It takes place on the top 2 strings. And we're starting off on the 10th fret of the B string. And I'm going to use my index for that, and I'm going to use my ring finger on the 13th fret. Eric Clapton plays like this a lot. Instead of using his pinky for the pentatonic scale, he just uses you know, his index and ring, because the ring finger is a lot stronger. And on the 10th fret of the B string, we pluck it, and then we hammer the 13th fret. And then we go to the 10th fret of the thinnest string, we pluck it, hammer the 13th, and then pull off. And this is actually the exact same notes as the lower riff, but 2 octaves higher. So that's how it starts off. 10, hammering to 13, and then 10, hammer, pull. Just take some time with that, you know, working on hammer-ons and pull-offs. In my free ebook, I have some exercises for that if you'd like some extra help with it. Anyways, from this point, we play the 13th fret of the B string and then the 10th fret of the high E string. All in all, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. And then here, instead of doing power chords and stuff, we're going to do some bends. We're going to go. So we were just on the 10th fret with our index. We're going to put our ring finger down on the 13th fret, and we're going to bend till it sounds the same as the 15th fret. And a good trick for this is to get a tuner. It's not a tuner. Pluck the 13th fret, check your tuner. Looks like it's right on. We do our bend. And you can keep plucking the string and see once it's in tune, that's what it's supposed to sound like. A lot of people will do vibrato at the top because that way you're kind of just encircling the correct note. So even if you're not dead on, you can still get it to sound pretty good. That's why one of the reasons why people use vibrato. But you know, to just straight up do it and have it be in tune is a great skill to have. So I recommend using a tuner to do that. Anyways, we do our bend. And then we come back to the 13th fret. We play the 12th fret. I use my middle finger. Then 13th fret of the B string. And we can either go up to the 15th fret, which I like because it has a bit of a richer tone, or we can go to the 10th fret of the high E string for that last note. All in all, and the rhythm for that, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So work on that individually, and then we can put it together with our hammer-ons and pull-offs. It'll go like this: 1 and 2 and 3. And once you're comfortable with that one, we're going to do a different ending for it. Instead of going, we're going to play. So it's almost the same, except the bend is different. We're starting on the 15th fret, and we bend up to make the same pitch as the 17th fret. So I showed you using the tuner last time to check your tuning. Another way of doing it without a tuner is first, you just go between the 2 frets, 15, 17, and then you go 15, and listen, you know? Otherwise, it's the exact same lick, so take a sec with that, and then we can add the rest of the notes. 12, 13, 15. And when you're ready, we can put that together with the entire thing. 1, 2, 3. Finally, once you're comfortable with each of those, you alternate between the 2 endings. First going, then, and back and forth between the 2. So that's the point where I want you to be at right now. You know, just take your time and go between them. And then finally, when it comes time to go into the rhythm part, our final thing is going to be a little bit different. The final note of the whole thing. We're going to go. So instead of traveling up to the 15th fret, we just hold that 13 and we just bend it up a bit till it goes to the same note as the 14th fret, which is the third of A major, and it's kind of the key that we're in. So all in all, 2 and 3. Of course, the song ends with this like beautiful piano part and like Duane Allman rip and slide, and we can check that out at another point in time. If you do want to, check it out, let me know in the comments down below. Either way, I have a full playthrough where we go through the entire song, start to finish, all the parts. That's available on my Patreon page if you're interested in checking it out. Don't forget to grab your free copy of my lead guitar ebook. It's completely free for all my subscribers. It goes over all the fundamentals. I also have a lead guitar course coming out. I'm editing it right now. It takes a while and it's a lot of work to edit, but I'm trying my best to have it out mid-April. There will be a link below to pre-sign for it, and there will be a special offer. So check that out if you're interested in my lead guitar course and you want to help support the channel. Otherwise, don't forget to like and subscribe. Please ask me any questions you might have in the comments section down below. Have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you soon.